I'm Rachel Feder with Totally Hollywood TV at the LA premiere of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
My name is McCall, and I have never read Harry Potter or seen the movies. But that all changes today, because in this video, I'm reading all 7 Harry Potter books for my first time. Let the games begin.
I mean, when it comes to Harry Potter, I'm a massive, massive nerd.
We know that because you posted this picture. Is this your 12th or you're about 12 or 13 here? This is Margot Robbie. Look how uncool.
I think I might know more about Harry Potter than J.K. Rowling. I'm like obsessed with Harry Potter.
I don't think I've ever said this before. I would love to become an author one day.
So you want to write a story like Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, but don't know where to start. Well, good news, because in this series, we're going to be studying the science behind compelling characters, plot, theme, world building, and most importantly, what's at the heart of every Harry Potter novel, mystery. Let's lock in. Step 1, know all the answers. As a beginner author, you probably are writing mysteries the wrong way. You're more likely than not trying to discover the story with the protagonist like you do any other narrative. But with mysteries, you don't write forwards, you work backwards. If your character is trying to find a magical stone, you need to know who created the stone, who wants the stone, where the stone is hidden, how it's being protected, and how the villain plans to steal it. And you should know all of this before your character even starts searching and becoming a detective. You as the author should have more knowledge than Harry. In fact, you are not Harry. You are actually more aligned with Dumbledore. You see, the author's knowledge should match Dumbledore's knowledge, and the reader's knowledge should match Harry's knowledge. The readers should know nothing, and the author should know everything. Yes, of course, the author should know everything, but that's a really high expectation and honestly a bit of a hyperbole. What that philosophy is really examining is that the author should know at least as much as the oldest character in the novel. Take Dumbledore, for example. Before we even start the first book, Dumbledore already knows what the Philosopher's Stone is, who Nicholas Flamel is, where the stone is hidden, who is guarding it, and who Voldemort really is. And obviously, Harry knows none of this. You see, it's that gap of information that creates mystery, and you as the author decide how to control it and when to release it. When you have this level of information, you as the author get to decide what the reader sees, misses, misunderstands, and when the truth finally is revealed. That all sounds great, Aaron, but I still don't know how to do it. To break this down even further, understand that every story has 2 timelines, Timeline A and Timeline B. Timeline A is a story your protagonist experiences. Timeline B is the hidden story that already happened before page 1. That hidden story is how mystery is created. For example, in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Ginny already opened the chamber. Tom Riddle is already manipulating her. The basilisk is already attacking students, and the villain already knows the truth.
It was Ginny Weasley who opened the Chamber of Secrets.
No, she couldn't. She wouldn't.
It was Ginny who set the basilisk on the Mudbloods and Filch's cat. Ginny who wrote the threatening messages on the walls.
Why?
Because I told her to. You'll find I can be very persuasive.
In Timeline B, the reader is simply uncovering events that already happened. So before writing your mystery, write the hidden timeline first. Basically, you're writing a prequel, a short story of Timeline A before Timeline B. And no, I'm not saying that you should write an entire full-length novel before your novel that everyone sees. No, I'm not saying that. But it will be in your best interest to write as much material as you possibly could in Timeline A so that you have enough to go off of in Timeline B. And even though the reader never sees it, they could definitely tell. Because now that you know the truth, you can finally start creating clues. And of course, this is the part that most people think about when they hear the word mystery. But here's what writers misunderstand about clues. It's not really about information at this point. You already handled it in Timeline A. Now it's about difficulty level. This is basically a game at this point. Writing a mystery is like creating an escape room. And for those authors who have gone to an escape room, you know that they're going to ask you the following questions. Are you a beginner? Intermediate? Pro? And if that's the case, well, they're going to direct you to the section of which your difficulty aligns with what you can handle. And if you're a child, they're not going to ask you any questions because they're going to direct you immediately to the beginner section because they know that if you're 11 years old, you should not be able to unlock a door with Morse code. Why is that, you ask? Because it's important that the puzzle difficulty aligns with the player's skill level. In a mystery, creating clues works the exact same way, so your readers, your target audience, should theoretically be able to solve any clues that you give out. Remember, a clue that is too easy is boring, and a clue that is too hard is cheating. And remember, J.K. Rowling never cheats. Oh, it was Quirrell all along? Well, what was the clue?
Harry, this is Professor Quirrell. He'll be your defense against the dark arts teacher at Hogwarts.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Fearfully fascinating subject. Not that you need it, eh, Potter?
Quirrell was nervous from the beginning. And when it comes to the readers receiving the clues, all that Harry, Ron, and Hermione had to do was just ask Hagrid, and he just gave it to them.
Hagrid!
Oh, hello. Sorry, don't wish to be rude, but I'm in no fit state to entertain today.
We know about the Sorcerer's Stone! We think Snape's trying to steal it.
Snape? Blimey, you're not still on about him, are you? Snape is one of the teachers protecting the stone. He's not about to steal it.
What?
No one going to get past Fluffy. Ain't a soul knows how, except for me and Dumbledore. I shouldn't have told you that. I should not have told you that.
And that's what I mean when I say that Rowling plays fair. If you were a smart enough 11-year-old, you would be able to figure out that Professor Quirrell was the real villain and that Snape was the one misdirecting you. In fact, that leads me to step 3. You've probably heard of the red herring before, but don't know really where it came from or what it actually means. A red herring was a heavily salted and smoked fish that turned reddish brown and developed an incredibly strong smell. In the 1800s, an English journalist named William Cubbett used the term metaphorically while criticizing newspapers for distracting the public from the real issue. He described how a red herring's powerful scent could distract dogs from following the actual trail of a hare. And that metaphor eventually became a literary term we authors use today. And Snape is basically like a walking red herring.
It was Snape, which means he knows how to get past Fluffy. And with Dumbledore gone...
Good afternoon.
And Fluffy was obviously guarding the Philosopher's Stone, so to an 11-year-old without all the information and clues that you gave them, they would probably think that he was the real villain the whole time. You see what I'm getting at? Everything just feels guilty when it comes to Snape. And that's what makes the character so genius. He's designed to have a really tough smell that distracts you away from the real issue.
But that day, during the Quidditch match, Snape tried to kill me.
No, dear boy. I tried to kill you.
And those are basically the 3 main components of what creates a compelling mystery, but the 4th and final one is, in my opinion, probably the most important. Believe you are special. Yes, you as the author have something special to say. If you have imposter syndrome surrounding the idea that you shouldn't write anything that's remotely close to Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone because you don't want to seem like a copycat, then I guess you wouldn't want to read anything like Percy Jackson. Which you definitely should, by the way, because Percy Jackson is very similar to Harry Potter, but what makes Percy Jackson special is how Percy is different than Harry. Rick Riordan basically decided to write a retelling of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and he did not let imposter syndrome stop him. He decided that he had something special to say, and he did. Percy Jackson and Harry Potter are very similar in a lot of ways, but what matters more is what makes them different. And what makes them different is that they are written by different authors, and you are a different author. You're not going to write anything like J.K. Rowling or Rick Riordan, even if you decide to write a retelling. Your readers are going to love the way that you did it, how you wrote the world, how you wrote the mysteries. They're going to love the character you wrote because they're going to believe that you are special. And they're right. No one else can write a novel the way that you can. Then again, there is way more to writing a novel than just writing the mystery. So in next episode, we're going to be studying how Rowling creates memorable characters and how you can too. Until then, write your story stronger.
I did a pub quiz the other day, because I know you love pub quizzes.
Big time.
Harry Potter. I've read all the books. I'm a huge fan. It was the most ridiculous quiz I have ever done. One of the questions was, who was the referee for like the 1964 Quidditch World Cup?
And Zendaya was like, I know.
That is ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
This class is ridiculous.